Up until this point, there have been very few episodes of The Simpsons where I haven't been basically wholly positive. I am aware that I've been very positive about The Simpsons throughout these 4 seasons because I love it, let's face it. But episode 18 of the 4th season, so it comes to this, a Simpsons clip show, I have to say, for me personally, I'm actually not a fan. And I can see why some people would love it, and I can see the benefits, and I will talk about those in a moment. But for me personally, and I've mentioned this before over the years, I don't like, generally speaking, I don't like compilations, anthologies, clip shows, things like that. And when it's repeating clips that we've already seen, I find that it's kind of not as exciting because it's not fresh content. You're just re-experiencing things before, and that also counts on them using clips that you particularly find interesting. So what actually happens in this episode? Well, first of all, it was released in 1993, April 93, directed by Carlos Baeza, and Homer is actually in hospital because Bart has pulled an April Fool's Day prank that went wrong. Interestingly, it was actually released on April Fool's Day on the 1st of April. And while they are sitting with Homer while he is recovering, they start to reminisce about various other things that have gone wrong, mostly revolving around Homer having some kind of injury. And I do think reflection at the time would have worked well for an episode because obviously in 1993 we didn't have as much content on demand. We didn't have any content on demand really, unless you want the VHS. If they were released on VHS at the time, please let me know either way. You wouldn't have really been able to binge watch them or to have recapped from something that happened 2 or 3 years ago. So, as an episode in itself, I think it's kind of sweet to look at how the show has developed over those 4 seasons and the different antics that have happened. It references maybe 10 clips, maybe a bit more than that, from things that have happened over the years. And I'll be honest, the clips that they choose are pretty decent. We get to see Homer having all kinds of catastrophic problems, and I mean, let's face it, there was an abundance of them to choose from even at this point. And I think the clips they chose worked well. They were edited together well, everything flowed nicely. The actual narrative structure of the episode, there were no problems with it at all. There is nothing bad about this episode itself. I just personally, generally speaking, don't like these kind of flashback episodes, and particularly when I'm binge watching them, or even if I've just seen these episodes a lot, obviously things get a little bit repetitive, and it means that I'm seeing the same things over and over again. So for me personally, I just don't like this episode very much. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with it. It's edited well, the narrative structure is fine. There are actually some clip shows that appear after this that I think are slightly better because they've got some fresh content and some unique elements to them, whereas this one is literally just clips that we have seen before. And I don't know if there was a specific reason why they did this. If they did this because maybe, they didn't have time to create another episode, or there were other issues, and they needed some filler content to regurgitate a lot of animation they'd used before. I don't know. But either way, on its own, it's not bad. But if, like me, you don't really like flashback episodes, and I never really like flashback episodes of any TV show, then it's not going to appeal as much. It's not bad on its own. I can see why a lot of people would like it, but to me, so it's come to this, a Simpsons clip show, is definitely a weak link.